Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Market Update. I am your host, Larry McCain with American Financial Network. Thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. It is a joy of mine to be able to bring relevant information to you each and every week or whenever I show up here. You know, I love this stuff. I'm a nerd for it. I just love presenting information. And I love that you guys are on this journey with me. So thank you again for tuning in. Welcome to a great weekend, another wonderful weekend. Wherever you're at, I hope you're enjoying it. It's beautiful. It is a gorgeous weekend. We are alive. And of course, as you can see here, I am in my green because we just came out of St. Patrick's Day. So hope you had a great time celebrating this past Thursday. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. I love that holiday. Holiday of luck, of joy, of peace, of fun. Lots of singing in the bars, lots of singing everywhere, dancing. I actually watched the video on Facebook of a friend of mine just having a really good time. So again, thank you for tuning in, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, folks, there's lots to cover, so let's just dive right on in. We've had an interesting month here, you know, from February to March here. So of course, we are entering in the fourth week of the unlawful, just ungodly. I mean, I don't know, I can give you many different adjectives, but I won't bore you. But this just unfortunate invasion into Ukraine by the Kremlin, I should say. I don't want to say the Russian people because it's the Kremlin. There's a big difference between the two. And so we have to really make sure that we really isolate that. I guess I'll start here first with that. There are great Russian people here in our country. There's great Russian people in the world in general. It's not necessarily a monolithic, you know, people that are doing this. This is a small group. It's the Kremlin. It's the, you know, if you do a little research on Vladimir Putin, you understand why there's this constant fear, insistent fear that this guy has, you know, about the world and his worldview. And it's very unfortunate. It really rips my heart, tears my heart up to see what's happening. Just an abomination to humanity. In fact, if you haven't donated, folks, please find a source to donate, and not just one time, donate it monthly. Their whole lives are upended. You know, I was just thinking, you know, I'm looking at like photos here on my desk and photos here on the wall of my kids, my children, my family. These folks have walked away from everything totally upended. And, you know, where there is a mindset from this oppressor to think that they're going to break their will, you and I both know if someone did that to us, you know, we would give our last breath fighting back. It's just a very barbaric way of thinking. And really, it's it's something that we shouldn't have to accept here in civilization. And we'll have to deal with that. But of course, it's having an effect on the economies across the world. Good news is that there's a lot of mitigation efforts that's gone around to help with that. And, you know, initially, as I mentioned, when this first took place, the central banks in all the countries started pumping money into the system so that liquidity kept moving forward, things didn't get too unstabilized. And we saw that, you know, rates initially took up, then came down significantly. We saw the cost of the barrel of oil take up, go up. Then we saw it go down underneath $100 a barrel. Now, of course, it's slightly back up again. And so the central banks of these major countries are really paying attention and doing a phenomenal job. United States, the UK, the EU and NATO countries in the EU, NATO countries in the EU doing a very good job monitoring things here. And so that's kept the market somewhat stable in this very turbulent times. But at the same time, of course, it's going to create more issues down the road because, again, we are a global country, we are a global nation, lots of globalization that helps to defray the costs or recognize economies of scale. Think Costco effect, right? The more you buy, the lower the cost. That's what globalization produces. And so we've taken on two big players. Russia was a big exporter of goods, and so was Ukraine, wheat and things of that nature. And so, you know, wheat is in a lot of the products that we use daily. So keep an eye on prices. We're going to see prices kind of go up a little bit. We've already realized that with inflation. And so we really got to monitor that. But hats off to central governments doing a very good job in keeping that in check. And speaking of inflation, of course, well, as I've been mentioning for the last few weeks, actually for several years, this past Thursday, Jerome Powell, this, of course, as expected, raised interest rates, and interest rates, of course, went up 25 basis points or a quarter percent here in the US. In Great Britain, it went up, I believe it was 75 basis points or 0.75%. They are really trying to put to really grasp inflation and get it under control. There was talk here in our country to at least go up 50 basis points, maybe 75 basis points. But unfortunately, there's a thing here called politics that I wish we didn't have. And, unfortunately, there are a lot of folks who don't read information. They don't watch videos. They don't see anything. They just watch whatever commercial. And unfortunately, there's stations that are in our country that they like to communicate things that aren't true. And so with that, you have to kind of step things a bit. And so there is plenty of room to go. We expect at least another, well, Jerome Powell said it, at least another 7 rate increases until things are really where they need to be. My expectation is by the end of the year, we can be close to 5% on average for conventional. I mean, today, of course, at the end of the week, with the interest rate hikes, we're right at about 4.5%. So it's not too far off, guys. So if you've been thinking about buying a home and you've been waiting, now is the time. Stop waiting. Rates are going to continue to go up. They're not going in the reverse direction. Prices aren't going in the reverse direction. In fact, this is your time. My contact information is there. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, carrier pigeon, whatever it takes. Reach out, folks, reach out. I had someone reach out to me last week, of course, from Florida. Had someone else reach out to me from Texas. Someone else reach out to me from Arizona. I get calls from all over the country. New York, I actually talked to a couple of people in New York working on a few things there, and they're heeding the call. They're seeing the videos. They're seeing my posts. They're saying, Larry, let's talk. See, the thing is, you may not be ready at that moment, but you will be ready at some point. And so it's like anything else. You want to formalize a strategy, not just jump in. And so we're talking to folks to get them ready. Again, give me a call. I would love to help you. Get you started. Give me a call right away. And again, for the real estate market, we're not seeing much in change of inventory. Inventory is still a bit constrained. In fact, I was reading some data recently. This February 2022, we are down in inventory from February 2021. And so, we follow trends, and the trends suggest that we may have lower inventory in the summer or in the spring, summer months. I know my wife's team, as you know, I mentioned before, my wife has a team, a real estate team, and they're prepping several listings here that'll be coming on the market within the next 3 weeks. And so I'm talking to other folks, my agent partners out there who are putting listings out there. We're working with active people who are trying to get inventory in the market. So my hope is that we have more inventory compared to last year, but things are still very tight. Hence the reason why rates have to go up. Just not enough supply for the demand. So we got to make sure we fine tune that and get prices at a certain point. So if you're thinking that prices are going to start coming down, we don't see that anytime soon, folks. We do not see that anytime soon. As I've been telling folks right now today, the key is getting into a home. I've talked to several different buyers. I have some clients this way. Other lender partners that I know have clients the same way. You have a buyer who wants to be in one particular area. They love one particular, community, or they love one particular proximity, but yet they're a little bit challenged. They're first-time home buyers, or they don't have enough resources to truly buy up. And what I advise these folks, like I would advise you, is don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect. The perfect doesn't exist. If you wait for the perfect, it's going to pass you by. And then what you'll do is like what many people have done that I've met, is they will lament about waiting and wish they would have made the move. Here we are right now telling you to make that move. I have several folks over the years. In fact, one in particular I think about, they bought a home in Natomas, that's in the Sacramento region area, back in 2016, and it wasn't their forever home. It wasn't exactly where they wanted to be. It was more, I believe it was more of a southern Natomas. Yeah, it was more of the southeast Natomas. And they wanted to be more into the northeast Natomas area, very nice area there. But again, you have to start somewhere. There's a saying, we crawl before we walk, and we walk before we run. Unless you're born with an infinite budget, you got to start somewhere. So they did that. They started somewhere. They bought a home back then. I believe it was 2016. We helped them with the financing. My wife helped them with the purchase. And They paid, I think it was a little over $300,000 at that time. And, you know, fast forward the story, in 2021, they sold that same home for $510,000, made lots of money in equity. And guess what? They bought the home they wanted. Again, it's a two-step for most of us here. And it can be the same for you too. I have another client, unfortunately, this is a different story where, you know, back in 2015, we got them pre-approved for a home. My wife, of course, showed them homes in Elk Grove, $320,000, 2,000 square foot home with a pool. And they couldn't pull the trigger. They kept thinking that, you know, it's going to go back to 2008. We're going to go to 200,000. We're like, guys, no, it's not. We are in a different market. You got to make that move. Well, guess what? They are priced out, well priced out. In fact, I spoke to them some time ago. They actually left the state and moved to another state. They're trying to chase that dream. And it's unfortunate. So I hope that that's not you. Guys, give me a call. Let's talk. My contact information is there. Give me a call. Just tell me what you're thinking about doing. Let's go over some of your questions. Let's put together a roadmap. Again, no matter where you're located, I can connect you with some great agents. They'll be very patient with you. They'll walk you through the process and eventually get you their starter home. And again, 4 or 5 years from now, because of how things trend, you'll be able to sell that home and then buy the home that you're looking for. It starts at one point and you just got to get started. My contact information is there. Give me a call. Love to connect with you as soon as possible. All right, and in conclusion, I always like to leave you with something that's very positive, very affirming. So there's some information right there. And in fact, I'm going to read it to you. It says, if you hang out with me for too long, I will brainwash you into believing in yourself and thinking that you can achieve anything. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, that is who I am. As I tell folks, I come from nothing, and so I appreciate everything. It was people who, you know, came into my life and said, Larry, you can do this, and Larry, you can do that. It was educators, it was parents, it was other families that embraced me and just said, Larry, you know, there is so much to this world, and you can set your goals high. And so I do that each and every day. In fact, in my circles, wherever I'm at, I'm always encouraging someone. And so I want to encourage you. Whatever it is that you want to do, you have to set the intention. You have to believe that it can happen and create the energy so it can happen. And it can happen. Trust me, I am evidence of this. I am a living proof of that situation. Every time I get a chance to comment on a teacher's post on Facebook, one of the things I always put is hashtag difference maker. All you teachers out there, you educators, I love you. I appreciate you. You are the backbone. You are everything to all that is good and everything that who we are. Continue to sow goodness into your students. Continue to sow goodness into the community. We really need that. What you impart is what is the result later on in life. And I am part of that, and so are others. So I encourage you all to continue. Again, folks, I encourage you to just embrace all that is good. Find someone, smile at them, tell them how much, you know, you appreciate them. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones how much you appreciate them, because life is very short. As you can see, we're here one day and gone the next. So it's very good for us to just, you know, give thanks for everything that we have in front of us. Thank you again for tuning in to the Market Update. I'm your host, Larry McCain with American Financial Network. Once again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for emails, your text messages, your phone calls. I am here for you. I hope you enjoy this weekend wherever you're at. Continue to pray for the people of Ukraine. Continue to pray for your neighbors, your friends, your family. Continue to be the light. Whatever you want in this reality, you have to be that. So if you want goodness, be goodness. If you want greatness, be greatness. We are here for that. So again, thank you again. I'll see you next week, guys. Have a great weekend. Take care.